might be hard for you to understand right now how important learning is, but I'm about to demonstrate how my experiences with learning about things, not just in math and social studies and reading, but learning about all things. I'm about to demonstrate how that can help you in everyday life. This is our car right here. Our car right here is a pretty good car, and it's got some problems with the brakes in the front of the car. I replaced the brakes on the back end of the car about a month ago or 2 months ago, and now the front brakes need to be replaced. So I'm about to show you how the knowledge that you're gaining at school will help you later on in life. And I hope this helps you understand how important learning is. I have a tool box right down here. I have some wrenches. These wrenches right here, actually, I got these wrenches by working at the same job for 5 years, and they gave us a prize or an award to congratulate us. Walking over to the car here, here's the front tire, there's the back wheels. I changed the brakes on that a few weeks ago. Here's the front wheels. You'll see down here a jack and this long pole. All right, so I want to jack the car up first, and I've got to make sure the emergency brake is set, and I'm going to put a brick underneath the wheel there in the back wheel so that the car doesn't have any chance of rolling while I jack it up. It'd be very dangerous to jack it up. Basically what you learn in science will help you with this a whole lot. I want to get an old brick here that I've got and put it behind the back wheels, and it's called chocking the wheel. So I'm going to put it right back here and kind of push it into place here, and that's going to drive not necessarily a wedge, but it's going to prevent the car from rolling if the emergency brake were to fail. Okay, so you see I got it chalked there. I'm going to put one on the other side. Okay, so I got both wheels on the back chalked with a brick there just to kind of keep it from rolling in case it does. I am on a little bit of an inclined plane here. That's a third grade science thing for you. And I'm going to jack up the car using this scissor jack. This scissor jack is going to use leverage to pick up the car. Okay, so I got the scissor jack underneath the car here. We'll try to slide this down in here so you can see it. And 4th grade math and 5th grade math talks about the word perpendicular. It's when two lines cross at 90 degrees angles. They intersect at 90 degrees. Well, for this jack to work properly, I got to make sure that the jack is perpendicular to the underside of the car. This railing here, can you see that railing right there? It's got to be perpendicular at a 90-degree angle, otherwise the jack will fall. That's 4th and 5th grade math right there. Otherwise the jack will fall if it's not perpendicular. So I want to jack it up, and I'm going to use some tools here to do that. I've got this tool right here that's going to hook right into there, and we're using a simple machine. This is actually also called a screw jack. You can see right here, simple machine. You can see the threads of the screw, and when I twist this piece right here, it's going to turn, it's going to lift the car up using leverage. Okay, so far I've got 4th grade, 5th grade math, I've got some 3rd grade science, simple machines, I've got some other simple machines going on. We got wheel and axle here for just the wheel itself, other 3rd grade science, and I've chalked the wheels back there. That's 4th grade science about motion. So I'm going to jack it up right here, and you'll see what it looks like. It's got to be, remember, perpendicular. Okay, it might be a little hard to tell here, but I have used the scissor jack, and you will see that it is, the angle of the jack is open to obtuse angles right here, an obtuse angle right here, and an acute angle right here. And what that did that allowed me to pick the car up, and you can see down here at the bottom that the wheel is not touching the ground anymore. Now, I'm going to use this tool right here. This is called a lug wrench. If you can see that, this is called a lug wrench to loosen the lugs. Now, before I jacked the car up, I had to use this pipe right here, this long pipe, to loosen up. I attached it to the lug nuts. I attached it to the lug wrench just like that to give me some more leverage. Okay, in third grade science, I think you learned about simple machines, levers. So a lever is something that will help you perform a task. It's a simple machine. So I had to have more leverage, which means it made that lug wrench, as you see, it made this lug wrench a lot longer, and I was able to break free the lug nuts. Okay, I want to unscrew these lugs from the simple machine, a bolt, which is a screw, and I want to take the wheel off. I'm using this lever to remove the lug nuts that hold the wheel, or hold the tire and the rim onto the wheel. I can take this one off by hand here. Probably about 20 years ago, a fellow I knew taught me how to replace brake pads. And you need brake pads to stop the vehicle. If you don't have good brake pads, your car's not going to stop. You're going to crash into something or someone. So I have all 5 lug nuts off of the wheel, and there you see the lug wrench right there. 5 lug nuts, and I'll go in to show you the simple machine. Third grade science, simple machines right there. That's the bolt that holds it on. It's the lug. So, like I said before, I've got 5 lug nuts here. That's preschool and kindergarten math, counting to 5, okay, or counting higher. Now, this rim is stuck to what's called the hub. The rotor, it's stuck to it because it gets wet and it rusts. So I sprayed a little bit of WD-40 lubricant on it to maybe let it soak in and hopefully be able to get it free. But I'm going to have to probably take this screwdriver here, and put it right there and use this end. This is a simple machine called a wedge. Use the wedge to try to pry it loose, which is not the best thing to do, but it's getting dark and it's about the only thing I can do to get this done really quick. So there we have pre-K and kindergarten math. We have 4th and 5th grade math with our perpendicular jack, and a simple machine from 3rd grade science. And now we're going to use some more 3rd grade science. All right, boys and girls, I've got the wheel off. You can see right here, this is some oxidation here. This white stuff right here, oxidation, where water gets on the metal and causes it to rust. All right, that's probably 6th grade science, I would say, maybe. I'm not sure, but I know it's science. And here are your simple machines, the lugs that use the screw, which is a simple machine. Take this part right here off, called the brake caliper. Now, I didn't learn about brake calipers in school, but I did learn from a friend of mine that taught me how to remove brakes and replace them. Okay, you can see a wheel and axle, more 3rd grade science, simple machines. This is the wheel, this part's the axle. Okay, so how many things can I pull into this? Well, let's just keep going and counting, okay? All right, boys and girls, I've opened up my wrench set that I got for working in the same factory for 5 years. They gave me a little prize and said, pick out some items you want. And I picked out these wrenches. I've had these wrenches for probably 15, 16 years, and they're pretty good. You'll see right here, there's numbers on them. 8, 13, 14, 10, and so forth. Over here, there are fractions. 1/4, 11/16, 3/4, 1/2. All these indicate the size of the nuts that they're going to loosen. All right, so on this side with the fractions, that is called U.S. customary measurement. These are fractions of an inch. Over here is metric. This is centimeters and millimeters. So it's actually measured in millimeters. 10 millimeters indicates that there's 10 millimeters, a 10 millimeter wide nut that you can take loose or bolt. So that's 5th and 4th grade math right there. Now I believe what I need is maybe I think to get right here in this, to take this bolt loose right here. You can't really see the bolt, but I've got the wrench on there. That is a 14 millimeter bolt, and I've got to take it loose, and I've got 2 of those on this side. I've got to take that loose to take this brake caliper off so I can get to the brake pad itself. Again, using leverage, simple machine screw. It's going to come out of there, which is the bolt. It has a screw on it. Simple machine, 3rd grade science. And here we go. Alright, so I tried using the wrench and I didn't have enough leverage. So now I want to use this adjustable ratchet, which will extend. It extends, and this right here acts like a wrench to turn the bolt. So I want to put it right in here. I got to tilt it a little bit to get a different angle. Uh-oh, there's some more math. Get a different angle in it so that I can get this loose and take it off. Alright, so here in my hand are the 2 bolts that hold the brake caliper on, and now I can pull this brake caliper off, I believe. See if I can get in here and hold the camera at the same time. There we go, slowly but surely coming loose. There we go. This is the brake caliper right here. This piece right here, this cylinder, what is that, 3rd grade math? 2nd grade math, cylinder. This cylinder, when you press the brake pedal in your car, mashes, it's pressed forward, and what it does, it presses these, which you'll see how bad my brakes are here. It presses these brake pads to pinch the wheel to slow it down. And my brakes don't have much pad left, very little, and they're starting to squeal, and I could end up messing this right here up called the rotor really bad and have to buy a new one. So I'm going to replace them right now so I don't have to worry about stopping, as well as I don't have to worry about the rotor being torn up by the bad brake pads. So there's one, and then there's one on this side right here. Oops, there was a little piece that fell off of it. This one's really, really bad. When these brakes mash that piece called the rotor right here, the wheel itself, when this presses it together, presses the 2 together to pinch it, it causes friction. What is that? 4th grade science right there, friction. And friction is what eats away the brake pad right here. I'll show you the new brake pad. So I'm going to put it on right now. This is the new brake pad. This is not an advertisement for brakes. There's the new brake pad right there. See how thick it is compared to this one? Big difference, isn't it? Old, new. Alright, so I want to put it on. Alright, boys and girls. Alright, boys and girls, I've got the new brake pads in place. I'm waiting for my son to bring me a block of wood, and he forgot the block of wood, and there he goes in there to the garage. A flat block of wood, son. Look in the box underneath the table. And I'm going to collapse this cylinder by using another simple machine, and of course that simple machine is included in the C-clamp. That'll work. This right here, boys and girls, is a C-clamp because it looks like the letter C, as you can see there, and it's got a simple machine attached to it, another screw. And you'll see that the simple machine screws are all around this. I'm going to collapse this to mash it all the way back in there using leverage. from my C-clamp, and then I want to put this piece right here back on here so it will pinch, so it will press these pads to pinch this to keep it from rolling using friction. Alright, I'm using this simple machine, the screw, to collapse this cylinder. Another math word, cylinder, right? Talked about that just a second ago. You learned that as early as maybe kindergarten or first grade. This is called the brake cylinder that I'm collapsing. Just pressing it back to push all the fluid. Can you see it good? Okay, to push all the fluid back into what's called the master cylinder, which is underneath the hood, to where it's flat. Otherwise, if that cylinder is sticking out, I'm not going to be able to get this. Can you see my finger pointing? I'm not going to be able to get this caliper, brake caliper, back on the brakes. Can you slide it over here to fit? So now you see the cylinder is collapsed. All right, I'm going to press it back on there, make sure I get it the right angle. Another math term. Right angle. Now I've got to find the bolts that went to it. 2 bolts here, using simple machine of a screw. Okay, I'm going to line it up here.
Am I aiming to get the right place?
Yeah, as long as you see what I'm doing. All right, here's my ratchet. It works on a wheel and axle. Can you see it?
Yeah.
It works on a wheel and axle. I want to turn it to where it will tighten it. It extends so that I have more leverage, more science stuff there, more leverage so I can tighten it up pretty tight. I'm going to put it on here and tighten it up. I'll tighten it just a little bit for each side first to make sure they line up, kind of like decimals in math. When you're adding and subtracting decimals, make sure those decimals are lined up. Got to get it pretty tight because I definitely don't want to be going down the road in this. Can you see this? Okay. And this brake caliper come loose. All right, so there's one side. There's one side complete, other than putting the wheel back on. So I got to put the wheel back on. And I got to do the other side. All right, boys and girls, I don't know if you can see it very well in the dark here, but got it back on there, ready to roll. Don't underestimate how much reading it takes to do things like this too. So we got math, we got science, and if I want to know a little bit more about brakes, I have to read about it. So the more you know, the more you can do, the more opportunity you have, and the more you can do with, there we go, the more you can do with yourself in your life, the more goals you can have. Thank you for watching.